kinds of crazy stuff happening in realities that you don't even know about. My name is AJ with Top 10 Nerd, and let's break it down with the top 10 Marvel What If comics you've never seen before. Coming in at number 10, what if the Hulk went berserk? This one revisits the origin of the Hulk and how Banner saved Rick Jones from the Gamma Bomb explosion. But in an alternate reality, Bruce Banner takes slightly longer in his attempt to rescue Rick Jones and is unable to push him into the hole that shields him from the blast. In this reality, only his body shields Rick Jones, and they both take a substantial dose of gamma. The result being that the Hulk and Rick Jones now share a psychic link, with the Hulk being able to feel Rick Jones's pain. This new unique trait is picked up by Thunderbolt Ross pretty quickly, who then uses the knowledge to inflict additional torment on Rick, hoping to lure the Hulk back to the base. Due to the torture and his radiation sickness, Rick Jones ultimately perishes, and the Hulk goes even more berserk when he detects this, destroying numerous military helicopters and tanks in his quest to seek revenge for Ross. The Fantastic Four are eventually called in, but the Hulk takes each of them out single-handedly. Then Iron Man and Thor team up to fight the Hulk. Thor combines his power to control lightning with the energy channeling ability of Iron Man's armor, but they're amazed when they're unsuccessful in neutralizing the enraged Hulk, who eventually grabs Iron Man and crushes him in his suit like an aluminum can, taking Tony out for good. Thor then fights the Hulk alone and loses Mjolnir in the process. In desperation, knowing that he'll probably perish if he reverts to Donald Blake after 60 seconds without his hammer, Thor acts decisively and snaps the Hulk's neck, ending him in the process as he reverts to a lifeless Bruce Banner. At number 9, what if Iron Man was trapped in King Arthur's time? I'm at the bottom. In this what if comic, Dr. Doom leaves Tony Stark stranded in Camelot after a betrayal. Without high-tech gear, Tony uses Iron Man's skills to join the Round Table, defending Camelot with his solar-powered suit against Morgan Le Fay and Mordred. Things get intense when King Arthur and Mordred face off in a huge battle, leading to their downfall. And after that, Arthur names Tony Sir Anthony, the Man of Iron, as his successor. If you're enjoying the video so far, please support the channel by pressing like, subscribing to Top 10 Nerd, and ringing that notification bell. At number 8, what if Conan the Barbarian were stranded in the 20th century? Conan is temporarily transported to the modern-day New York, but with help he finds a way to get home, and with the police thinking him a burglar, he runs to the roof of the Guggenheim and is hit by a magical lightning bolt that sends him back to the Hyborian Age. At least that's what's supposed to happen, but in this reality, Conan misses his faithful meeting with the lightning bolt by getting to the roof sooner and allowing the cops to get a drop on him. Yeah, that's right, Conan was apprehended by a handful of cops. Super underwhelming. But it gets worse. After a stint in jail, he soon becomes a criminal, though it takes him a while to learn the language and the concepts we take for granted. Conan then decides to start his own gang and recruits the baddest bruises around. They call himself the Barbarians, and they follow him gladly because he has, quote, the spirit of a black warrior. I couldn't make this stuff up if I tried. His gang goes on a rampage, and when they finally rob a museum showing a Hyborian exhibition, finally some Marvel heroes take notice. Well, singular. Captain America. This brawl ends in Civil War fashion, with Cap convincing Conan to give up and the Barbarian walking away. After that, he invites Conan to become an Avenger. Will he or won't he? The Watcher never told us. At number 7, what if Spider-Man's Uncle Ben had lived? In this alternate Marvel universe, Uncle Ben stays alive because he's not bothered by nagging back pain. In a twist of fate, when the burglar breaks into the house, Aunt May investigates instead of Ben, and sadly she meets her end. This story takes a wild turn as Uncle Ben, feeling distance from Peter, discovers his nephew's secret identity as Spider-Man. Instead of scolding Peter, Ben encourages him to be the Spidey for the right reasons and not out of guilt, but to help others. Now things heat up when Ben confronts J. Jonah Jameson about his smear campaign against Spider-Man, and an intense standoff leads to a deal where Peter will tackle crimes for the Bugle. But soon all this blows up in everybody's faces, and that's when the Green Goblin goes berserk, kidnapping Jameson. Spider-Man swoops in, sorts things out, and even helps Jonah Jameson, who turned into a hulking beast. Eventually, secrets are spilled, forgiveness flows, and Norman Osborn's Green Goblin identity is exposed way earlier than usual. This is one of those handful of what-if stories that have an overall significantly better outcome than the mainstream canon for the hero and his supporting characters because, among other things, Betty Brant doesn't lose her brother, and the early and very public unmasking of the Green Goblin gets rid of a plethora of trauma in Spider-Man's life. At number 6, what if Wolverine had eliminated the Hulk? In this alternate Marvel universe, this reality diverged during the battle between Wolverine and the Hulk. In this reality, Wolverine disobeys his order to capture him and instead takes him out. But that move set off a chain reaction of chaos that would ultimately lead to Wolverine's own demise. See, after this, Wolverine, feeling like the big shot, ends up accidentally ending an innocent person in a bar brawl. Then when his boss, James Hudson, says he has to face his consequences, Wolverine bolts. Magneto and his gang, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, swoop in to scoop him up. Now eventually he flips sides and joins the X-Men to take down the Brotherhood, but in the showdown with Magneto, things turn tragic as Magneto tricks Wolverine using his metal powers to turn Wolverine's own claws against him. The result being that Wolverine meets his end by getting skewered with his own claws. At number 5, what if the Dazzler had become the Herald of Galactus? The Dazzler is a mutant with the power to turn sound into light, but what if she gained the power cosmic? In this what if tale, Galactus, the cosmic entity that devours planets, chooses Dazzler as his herald after banishing his previous one, Terrax. Initially unwilling, Dazzler agrees to spare Earth from Galactus' hunger. But then instead of leading Galactus to inhabited worlds, Dazzler guides him towards empty planets, hoping to save lives. Over time, she even manages to awaken some feelings in the usually stoic Galactus. However, things take a turn when aliens seeking revenge for their planets attack Dazzler using Terrax's axe. Galactus retaliates fiercely, which angers Dazzler. After recovering, she's disappointed by Galactus' ruthless response. Returning to Earth centuries later, she finds it destroyed. With no other choice, she returns to Galactus, realizing she has nowhere else to go after so long. At number 4, what if the Fantastic Four had not gained their powers? In this world, Reed Richards decides to play it safe during their space mission, deciding instead to wait and do the rocket launch by the books with proper shielding. The result being that the trip to space is a success, and the team becomes a big shot in the space industry instead of gaining cool abilities. But surprisingly, that doesn't stop them from taking the heroic path. When Mole Man's monsters strike, the military steps in, but our fearless foursome, Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben, aren't deterred. They explore a tunnel beneath their place, and surprise, surprise, even without any superpowers, they outsmart the Mole Man and his creepy creatures. After this, they become old school adventurers, exploring mysteries and going on wild pulp adventures without superpowers. At number 3, what if the Beast had truly become a beast? In this alternate story, Hank's mutation formula made him more savage, turning him into a blue furry creature with a ferocious mind this time. Worried about their friend, Professor X sends Cyclops, Marvel Girl, and Angel to help, but when they find the Beast in Central Park, he attacks them, torn between his animal instincts and warning them away. Then when Professor X shows up, the Beast fights, but manages to hang on to his humanity long enough to surrender. The X-Men can't cure him, so they find him a new home in the Savage Land, where he can be free with Zakar and Zabu, unable to continue on with the X-Men due to his savage nature. At number 2, what if Galactus had turned the Silver Surfer back into Norrin Rad? So the Silver Surfer, aka Norrin Rad, was longing to return to his home planet Zen-La and reunite with his beloved Shalabal. But here's a twist: Galactus, instead of leaving Norrin stranded, turns Shalabal into his new herald called Starglow, erasing her memories of Norrin. While Norrin, aided by the Fantastic Four, seeks a way back home using the Watcher's technology, Galactus arrives at Zen-La to devour the planet, and Shalabal, now loyal to Galactus, offers herself willingly, hoping to see Nora again. When Norrin pleads for an alternative, Galactus grants him his powers back, but confines him to Zen-La as its protector. And coming in at number 1, what if Loki had found Thor's hammer first? In an alternate Marvel universe, Loki grabs hold of Thor's destiny by seizing the stick that transforms Blake into Thor, leading to a domino effect of calamities. By denying Blake access to his power, Loki triggers a series of events, from Thor's demise to Asgard teetering on the brink of destruction. As chaos unfolds, Baldur gets taken out, and Odin's quest to reclaim his son spirals into conflict. Meanwhile, Thor, guided by Baldur and Valhalla, returns to combat Hela's forces. Heimdall and the Warriors 3 hunt for Mjolnir, facing Loki and a dragon blocking their path. Now amidst Asgard's turmoil, Sif steps up, wielding Mjolnir to free Thor and aid in defeating the encroaching armies. Thor redeems himself, helping to fend off the attackers and saving Asgard. And in a moment of reflection, Odin sacrifices an eye to free Baldur, highlighting the cost of redemption and lessons learned. As always, if there's an alternate reality that you think I missed here today, feel free to let me know down in the comments. This has been AJ with Top 10 Nerd, and I'll catch you all in another video. Peace out.